it can be fun. It don't the roller coaster may be too high and too low.
Yes,
But what I
exactly.
was gonna say, I think I'm learning and I'm reminding myself so I don't get, too disappointed that, and also it's the whole concept that this person is a whole person of themselves. They have their
Yes.
own mindset and how they think. So because of that, you don't think the same thing. There are going to be some little bumps in the road here and there, so they're to be expected.
Yes.
So it shouldn't be hard, but there are going to be some difficulties because this person is not you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you are not them. And so and I
Exactly.
think it makes things a little easier when both parties realize that and then say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, why so and so and so, you know what? This is how I feel about it, but that might not be how that person feels about it because they're not
Yes.
me. And then
Exactly.
come to communication, try to understand both perspectives and like kind of meet in the middle. But I think that will help with some of the difficulties and disappointments.
I believe so as well. You mentioned earlier about the concept of compromise, and I think that's where that comes into as well. Because you have to remember we're on the same side. It's not like
Mhm.
you're opposing forces trying to see who's gonna win this match. It's like if you lose, then I lose. So of
Mhm.
course I want to make sure that our connection is going to be a positive one, and it's going to send us in a whirlwind that's positively going to affect us both, as opposed to a whirlwind that's going to separate us and tear us apart like a tornado. So
Okay.
all right. So I think we got about two more questions and then we'll conclude our session. We talked about earlier about elements of maturity. Do you believe that once you get to a certain level of maturity, the qualities that we used to look for in relationships change, or do they sort of continue along the way, but they get more grounded, if you will?
Mm. I hate to be that person, but so it's always both.
Yeah. And
Are
that's
all the
true.
interviews like that?
Oh,
I
yes.
don't know. I don't know if everybody else thinks the same. Um, but I think there are going to be certain things that are constant, or they're
Hmm.
like your non-negotiables. So those things are not going to change. And then as
Yes.
you mature and you get better understanding of things, more
Hmm.
exposure, you realize that those things help to change some things that you used to, you know, look for. They're not as important, or maybe like can be kind of scoot to the side because you know. So I think it just, yeah, as you mature, some things are never going to change, and there are going to be
Hmm.
some things that once you grow and get knowledge of, they will change.
Exactly. And I agree with you. So that's why I'm laughing, because I'm just like, Lord, she's totally in my mind for real. Because I don't believe there's one set answer for any of these questions. And again, based off of the interaction I get from individuals, questions just pop out in
Mhm.
different ways. But I truly agree that once, as you mature, there are certain areas that are non-negotiable, and you're just like that's been the way since the beginning of time. I'm always going to look for this particular component, but
Mhm.
you do get more grounded, or you have a better understanding of those characteristics or qualities now, and so they sometimes can become, you can become more flat-footed in like, yes, this is what I want. And then some of them become more realistic, I think. Like you said, sometimes you can have that fairy tale concept of it, but then as you experience life, you still want that same quality, but now it's a fuller understanding of it.
Mhm.
All right. So my very last question is, what advice would you want to leave with someone who's single and that's out there looking? It could have been advice someone gave you, or just advice yourself that you want to leave out there for those who are active in the dating world and just like, I am still hopeful, or I really know that I want to connect in this way and find my someone. And I'm hoping that my someday is coming soon. So what is something that you want to like leave out there for them?
I'm a person who's optimistic, so I'm really big on like just faith, being hopeful,
Hmm.
staying in faith that someday it is going to happen, and I
Hmm.
really do think that way.
Oh,
I'm like,
yes.
okay, you know what, this still is going to happen. I don't know when.
Yes.
Okay, Lord, like when is going to happen? You know,
Hmm.
I know it's someday. Some
Yes.
days you're like, okay, when, and then it's like, you know what? And I feel like I'm in a place right now where I feel like someday is soon. I just feel
Yes.
like, something's close, something's gonna happen. I'm like,
Hmm.
any day now, I'm probably gonna run into someone,
Exactly.
speak to something. I just like, I don't know. I'm in a place of expectancy,
Yes.
and not just expecting it, but like I feel it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like things are happening. So but yeah, I'm telling myself, be open.
Yes.
Be open to different things that maybe I normally wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Also maybe take time, because I'm a person who I really care about, how people feel and their feelings and whatnot. And
Yes.
I'll cut something off before I hurt somebody, their
Mm-hmm.
feelings. And if I feel like I'm unsure of, or like if I'm not interested, then I'm not going to mislead you or whatever.
Exactly.
Although in trying to be open, still be upfront,
Mm-hmm.
always respectable, and just know that someday it will happen.
Yes.
Um, yeah.
Yes. I think that's beautiful. It will. And I'm with you. I'm with the same expectation. Like any day now. Just look around the corner. What's gonna happen? But exactly. But you have to be optimistic, as you were saying earlier. Have that concept that it is going to happen. It's going to occur sometimes when I least expect it, but I do want to be ready, prepared, so that I'm
Right.
able to enjoy this developing, budding love that's going to come about, and to be able to use these nuggets of wisdom that I'm grabbing from different people, whether it's observation, whether it's reading, as we talked about earlier, or
Right.
just feedback that sometimes that you'll get from people that you already see in positive relationships. And so you just sort of take those nuggets and put them away, a little bit for
Right.
later, because they will be able to come about, as we talk about that relationship roller coaster sometimes that we are on. It doesn't necessarily have to be a negative one. So,
Yeah.
well, Tasha, I thank you so much for your time. I have thoroughly enjoyed talking with you and picking your brain a little bit. And I think you have had an opportunity to get to know some of the characters just a little bit more. And that's our hope. Our hope is that as you guys are listening to these interaction and interviews, that you're hearing these people understanding in the heart, but also connecting back to the characters and realizing that they're just not names on a page, that there are
Mhm.
elements that we can all connect to, and that they experience things in life just like we do. And it makes it more realistic and not just a super fairy tale type thoughts as we relates to a romantic novel, but it's something that's grounded and that you want to participate in and be able to purchase and to enjoy. So
Yeah.
again, thank y'all so much for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you guys on the next session.